Welcome back to your favorite program, The Conversation, coming to you from TV 360 here in Lagos, Nigeria. My name is still Sen Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan, and I still have with me in the studio Comrade Alhaji Razak Kolade Olokoba, popularly called RKO. Alhaji Olokoba, yes, we want to look at the Natasha story that is developing every day. Just some few days ago, the constituents of suspended Senator Natasha signed a petition, and under section 65 of the 1999 Constitution empowers the constituents, once they are above half of the total registered population in that constituency, that from the polling units, ward and local government that makes up that constituency, they can put up a signature through a petition
for
a recall. And they've submitted that petition to the Independent National Electoral Commission, because in their words, they said they cannot afford not to have a representation in the upper legislative chamber for the next 6 months. That Senator Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan is not worthy of their representation based on her conduct. And some persons have gone to town that it is politically motivated. I said even being in the Senate in the first place was also political.
You see, my concern consistently is when political class handle serious issues with levity. You see, he left the central thing he went to the parliament to do. The question of harassment, you see, if you use Western standard every time to define moral issues in Nigeria, it will be a problem. A man will have a girlfriend. From supermarket, they will go home. And we don't know what they did together. Then 10 years later, you say it's an harassment. That's a strange standard in Africa. It's a strange standard in Africa. As far as once they begin to do as they say, their husband and wife. We are not talking religion. A standard, a responsible people. You see, a lot of people who want to intervene in this matter are using Western standards.
Do you think so?
Yeah, to interpret.
No, look over. You know what I've seen in this whole saga is that a lot of people are using the feminist,
which is a Western standard.
That's what weaponize.
That is what I'm saying. It's a Western standard.
Even a lot of these groups.
What's feminism? It's West. We don't all this strange ideology. It's strange to us in Africa, and it's not.
And even if you are using feminism as an angle to look at the issue, you are expected to provide evidence. Not only whip up. We know women are all about emotions,
When a concept comes up, you have to trace where the genesis. If you read the history of the Caucasians, we are not the same. Their attitude towards their men, go and read their history. We are not the same. We have never been that uncivilized. So they need this concept of feminism, protection for women. They need it. We were not. There's no law that says you should pay your children's school before you pay. There's a law that says they must do that because they do. Western men won't do it. Go and read their history. So this strange ideology, the whole question of bathing is a parliamentary issue in Europe. It's 200 years ago. They compel them to be bathing, compel them to pay school fees, compel them to do the needful in their family. So the law they have in their society, there's an historical explanation for it. So bringing it to impose it on us as a standard, we're missing the way. That is why the Northerners has a complete different definition of what has happened in the parliament. They don't like it. It's not an affront, but there's a limit to which a woman should push a fight. That when his colleague has said, no, let's take it for it's okay. So the way he's dragging the matter, reaction will come also, and that's part of the reaction. Remember that it's a snatched victory from a political party. You must bear that in mind, that my victory is a very tender victory. It's not strong. And any excuse given to my opposition, they will latch in, which is what they are doing now. So this is part of the constitution. Anytime, any day, if you see clearly that Akpabio is doing something that is inimical to the parliamentary right of any member. We will take it up. We have not seen one.
We have not.
We have not seen one.
We have not seen
at
one.
all.
Yes, yes. And even if you remember, even the 3 other female members of the Senate, as well as even former members of the Senate, came out openly. And even said, look, when you are in the Senate, there's no distinction between a distinguished female member or a male. That even a member of the Senate, Senator Ireti Kingibe, even said that among all the 4 female members of the House, Sen Natasha is the most favored. They are in parliamentary issues.
So there's no...
Somebody even said she has motions and bills that even men have not been allowed to, present. So this angle of sexual harassment, for me as a person, I'm not going to take up the position of spokesperson for the Senate president. But as a keen watcher of development, as a scientist, the question I always ask is, where are your evidence? Just like in 2020, if you remember, we were at the NSAS panel. And on October 2020, they said 83 or 84 people died, that they were shot by the army. Later on, they said 41. Later on, they kept shifting the number. From 41, it became 16. 16 became 4. Later, they said 1. We now said even one soul is important. Can you let us have facts about the person, his name, age, have his picture?
They said the hospital kept changing.
Yes.
From one Nicholas hospital to another hospital to another hospital.
And when we were at the panel and
until they provided someone who has nothing to do with NSAS.
They even went as far as taking some women to the house of the Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Dr. Bafemi Hamzat. It was later, and those ones went there to cry that their children were killed at Lekki Toll Gate on October. It was later the scam was exposed that those women were paid 10,000 naira to go and act that film.
There's something politics will not push us. You see, you get to a point in life where, when you are familiar with a particular thing, even if the picture is not before, you will assume. When your phone is not ringing at time.
Yes, you assume you hear this, yes.
The 12-step theory of a giraffe put in a cage, it was taken to a bigger zoo. The giraffe never recovered. He kept taking 12 steps forward, 12 steps back. There's a tendency that our distinguished senator might assume that all women have emotional origin for her. 6 wives, 6 children. I don't know whether that is true.
No, they said 4 children from 4 children from maybe 4 men.
4 men. So psychologically, there's a tendency that any man that is too caring for you, you might assume that
is
possible psychologically. So the husband needs to work on that more. That please, see, you have to recover from this trauma that all men that around.
And then I think then she should assess psychiatric.
She did it to Reno Mokiri. She did it to Yaya Bello. And many other people were also saying it under different names on the internet that I don't want to explain them, but she did it to me too. So, and I don't want to think that she's fabricating. But my conclusion is that maybe that permanent thought that any man coming around me is coming to make a pass at me. Because as a senator...
But even as a that Olokoba, it is natural for man to make a pass at a woman.
It's up
in
to
our
the
culture.
Say, yes, it's up to the woman to say...
It's up to the woman to say yes or no. And if the man now persists and does things outside what the law permits, then you can take it up legally.
Yes.
For example, when I was growing up as a young boy, I approached the lady on a particular day, and I told her I liked her, I wanted her to be my friend. And the lady told me that I'm a married woman. I said, sorry. And that was the end of our discussion. Will you now say I was wrong to have approached her?
It happened severally to one of our friends who are also pursuing the line of polygamy. They're also pursuing that right into as a life philosophy and a way of life. You want to rescue women from the situation at times and say, can we? And once you know it's a no-go area,
you leave it at it. You move ahead.
And that's why I said
Ojo, it's just like Yoruba used to say.
We should be careful of a Western standard. It is the West that will say, allow your 18-year-old children to do whatever they like. You not come back to start preaching mother again that no, it's an harassment when you look at a lady that does not wear bra too much. And you are doing and preaching that immorality in the first place. So the Western standard imposed or not, we are completely different from the West. The best in the world, the best creature of God are the black people. The most advanced. So don't impose it on our way of life, the way we raise our children, and the way we relate to our women. The West should not be our standard at all. The feminists dip their hand into it. Opposition, they dip their hand into it.
Yeah,
and you should know that once you are a member of the Senate, the whole question of the party you come from must disappear in your mind.
Yes.
Your constituency is important
yes.
to you. Take road here, take whatever you can take through your lobby, parliamentary lobby
yes,
today.
Yes.
That should be what your parliament were. Not there even something within do that. Senate president sent 500 million naira.
No, they deleted it. They said it's not. They deleted. And again,
there's no how such money will move. That EFCC will not catch up.
It's just like what Baba Obasanjo just did. I saw a video where Baba Obasanjo was saying he was telling Ugo Chinyere, the PDP legislator from House of Representatives, that he had that legislators were giving $200,000. And Ugo Chinyere said there was nothing like that. And Obasanjo kept insisting.
As a president?
No, as a former president. He kept insisting.
Let's just say as a president. Because
and when
he was a president,
that was what he was doing.
Can such money move without taking the attention of financial institutions?
No, when Obasanjo was president, have you forgotten, even some weeks back, Senator Adeyeye said they brought 70 million naira to him. And that they brought more than that to some other people to support former President Obasanjo third-term agenda. So I feel he's been haunted by the ghost of his failed third-term bid. So he assumes every government.
We are seeing that area.
Yes.
We are not in that area. It's not possible.
That is vintage by Obasanjo.
In the Nigeria of today, it's not possible.
For the house that has 360 members in the House of Reps, 109 in the Senate, now 108.
Our budget for 5 years cannot accommodate it.
Honestly, I think maybe President Obasanjo is getting older.
No, that's the political class for you.
And his reasoning is being affected.
Particularly the perception by that party he belongs. That's their perception. They can go to any extent to make political point, even if it's going to bring the country down. Imagine such lies. Imagine such lies. So, and
even some hours ago, you saw what Obi Ezekwesili went and did in the Senate. How can you tell a distinguished senator to shut up? It shows like the Igbos will say,
and they will go to the rest of the world
and be preaching good governance.
Some of them are not well brought up. That's my conclusion.
Well, let us end it at that. That was a very good submission. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is how far I want to go on the conversation today. We've had a wonderful conversation looking at two topical issues on the front burner, and we throw the ball back in your court to, introspect issues dispassionately. Even if you take sides based on facts. Don't allow people to, to toy with your emotions. We all have emotions. Well, till we come your way again next time, continue to watch the conversation on TV 360. Have a great day. Bye-bye.